Good morning, children. Welcome back to the social session. Children, in the past lesson or in the past class, we tried to understand about the industries in India. We have classified these industries as three types: the agro-based industries, mineral-based industries, and forest-based industries. We have seen in our previous class regarding the agro-based industries. That means the industries which take agricultural production as their raw material are called as agro-based industries. We learned about the textile industry, the sugar industry, and even about the jute industry. These are the three important agro-based industries. In today's class, we learn about the mineral-based industries. The industries which take minerals as their raw materials are called as mineral-based industries. So under the mineral-based industries, we discuss about the iron and steel industry, cement industry, automobile industry, fertilizer industry, aluminium smelting industry, and some of the chemical industries. We learn about these industries in detail. So coming to the iron and steel industry, in the first introduction itself, I told you that iron and steel is called as a basic industry. Without the iron and steel, the development of a country, the development of other industries cannot take place. So it is one of the key industry in the development of a country. So industries that use minerals as the raw materials are called as the mineral-based industries, and the minerals are widespread. The distribution of the minerals in the country are widespread, but as you all know that most of the minerals are available in Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, Bihar region, in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region. On their geological structures, different minerals are available in different parts of the country. Like coal is available in Telangana region, Singareni coal is available, one of the most important energy source. And iron ore is also available in Karnataka. So likewise, the distribution of minerals is widespread according to the geological structure. The minerals essential for the establishment of iron and steel industry are located predominantly in the peninsular India region. That means in the southern part of India, these minerals are predominantly located. Therefore, most of the iron and steel industries are also distributed in the same place, very near to these raw material available areas, as minerals are located there, and the industry is dependent on power resources for its equally essential operational industries. And conventional energy sources like coal, water, and petroleum gas are also available in large quantities in this region, which helps in the development of the mineral-based industries for the localization here in the same place. And coming to the in detail of the iron and steel industry, children, the iron and steel industry is one of the basic industry, and since all the industries require heavy, medium, and light depend upon the iron and steel industry for their machinery. Steel is needed for the manufacturing of a variety of the engineering goods, construction material, and defense, and even for the medical, telephonic, scientific equipment, and a variety of goods and goods are produced with the help of the steel. So it is one of the most important most important industry for the development of the nation. If we make a list of all such goods made of steel, then you can think of production of the production and consumption of steel is often regarded as a index for the country's development. How much do you produce and how much we consume? If you look at that index, then that itself will tell you how developed the nation is. In a developed nation, the production and consumption of the steel will be very high. And iron and steel is a heavy industry. It's not a small or medium scale industry. It's a heavy industry, and because of all the raw materials as well as finished goods are heavy and bulky and entailing heavy transportation costs. You know, iron ore, cooking coal, and limestone are required in the ratio of approximately 4:2:1. Iron ore 4 and choking coal 2 ratios, and 1 ratio is limestone. So in the ratio of 4:2:1. 4:2:1. So 4 is iron ore. Ore is nothing but the impure iron. So this is a coal, and this is a limestone. In this ratio, we take out the pure iron and make the steel. How do we make the steel? Also we learn. So we mix a kind of a mineral in order to turn it out into a steel. So some quantities of manganese are also required in order to harden the steel, in order to make the steel very hard. Manganese is required. Where should the steel plants be located generally? So remember that the finished goods also need a significant efficient transport network, because they have to be transported to the market for their distribution and in order to reach to the customers or to the consumers. Today, with 32.8 million tons of steel production, India ranks 9th position in the world, and in the production of the world crude steel products. It is the largest producer of the iron sponge. So sponge iron means little impure iron is the sponge iron. India is one of the largest producer of the sponge iron, and in spite of large quantities of production of steel, per capita consumption per annum in our country is only 32 kgs. That is the reason why, even though production is very high, but the consumption is very little in the country, still we are reeling under the undeveloped nations or backward nations. So in a developed nation, always the consumption also will be high, the steel and iron consumption will be very high. And coming to the next industry is the aluminium smelting industry, not melting, children, it is a smelting industry. Removing of the impurities from the ore is called as smelting. Generally, the ore turns out to be a pure iron or pure aluminium because of smelting. So aluminium smelting is the second most important industry in the metallurgy department of the country, and it is light and it is resistant to the coercion. It is a good conductor of heat, and it's malleable and become very strong when it is mixed with the other minerals or other metals. So it is used to manufacture the aircraft. Aluminium is used in the manufacturing of utensils, and it is also used in the making of the wires. So it has gained popularity as a substitute of steel, copper, zinc and lead in a number of industries. So aluminium is being replaced for steel, for zinc, for lead, for copper in different industries, and it is gaining popularity in the production. There are nearly 8 aluminium smelting plants in the country located in Odisha. One is a NALCO, that is a National Aluminium Company, and BALCO, Bharat Aluminium Company. One is NALCO, children. NALCO is called as National Aluminium Company. National Aluminium Company, and the other one is BALCO. These two are located in Odisha. See, Bharat Aluminium Company. These both are located in Odisha. There are totally 8 plants are there, and apart from these 2 in Odisha, there are plants located in West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and even in Kerala, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. In 2004, India has produced 6,000 million tons of aluminium, and bauxite, which is a raw material used in the smelting, is very bulky mineral, bauxite, which is in a dark reddish color, okay, and regular supply of electricity is needed for the smelting industry, which assured a source of raw material at a minimum cost are the 2 important prime factors for the location of the industry. One is availability of the power, the second one is the continuous supply of power, the second one is the availability of the bauxite. These are the 2 important prime factors in deciding the cost of the aluminium. The third industry is the chemical industry. The chemical industry is a fast growing industry in the country, and it contributes approximately 3% to the GDP of the nation, and it is the third largest in Asia and occupies the 12th place in the world. And in terms of its size, it comprises of both large and small scale manufacturing chemical industries. Rapid growth of this industry has been recorded in both inorganic and organic chemicals. So inorganic chemicals include the sulfuric acid, which is used to manufacture the fertilizer, synthetic fibers, plastics, adhesive means फेविक्विक जैसा लगाते देखो, उसके अंदर यूज करने का जो केमिकल है, ये पूरा जो है इनऑर्गेनिक केमिकल्स है. And we also used in the paints, okay, paints, dyes, stuffs. For these things we use these inorganic chemicals. And nitric acid, alkalis, soda ash, which is used in the making of glass, soaps, and in the detergents, paper, we use this nitric acid, and caustic soda. These industries are widely spread all over the country, and these industries mostly import their raw material. And coming to the organic chemicals, the organic chemicals include the petrochemicals especially, which are used in the manufacturing of synthetic fibers and synthetic rubber, plastics, dyestuffs, drugs, and in pharmaceutical industries. These organic chemical plants are located only very near to the oil refineries or the petrochemical plants, because petrochemical industry or petrochemical refineries only will provide the raw material to these organic chemical factories. For that reason, they are located very near to the petrochemical industries. The chemical industry is one of its own largest consumer, because basic chemicals undergo processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for industrial application, and agriculture are directly for the consumer markets. So if we make a list of products, you are aware of what are the organic chemicals and what are the inorganic chemicals. So that list will be unending. Such a huge number of chemical industries are located in the country. And about the fertilizer industry and chemical, and about the cement industry, and about automobile industry, we will see in the next class, children. Take care. Thank you.